Hello and welcome to a Manchester City versus Manchester United match reaction and player ratings. I mean, it was all over in the first half, unfortunately. I mean, we did show good character to come back in the second half, but how much of that was City taking the foot off the gas and how much of that was United actually taking the game to City and actually improving, we will never know. It was definitely an improvement over the first half. I mean, you couldn't get any worse, could you? Let's be honest. But if we had that kind of performance in the first half, would City allow us to score 3 goals, get back into the game? I don't think so. I think it was just City taking the foot off the gas a little bit as well. But the game was decided after the first half, let's be honest. I mean, it is embarrassing, isn't it? 2 Manchester City players getting hat-tricks. Not one. One City player getting a hat-trick is embarrassing. 2 City players getting hat-tricks. Foden getting a hat-trick. Is that the first hat-trick of his career? I wouldn't be surprised. And it's coming in Manchester derby. He's Manchester born and bred. For him to get a hat-trick against United, oh God. Haaland, you can understand scoring a goal. I knew he would score. I didn't think he'd score 3 though, mind. But given how good we've been defensively away from home, in the last 3 games we've had 3 clean sheets. So coming into this, I thought we'd make it difficult for them. We absolutely didn't. In that first half, in every single aspect of the game, we were horrendous. We were horrendous going forward. We never looked like stringing any passes together. We were trying to play on the counter-attack. We did have success against Arsenal, against Liverpool with that, but after the first 5-10 minutes in this game, after it wasn't working, you would have thought that we would have tried to get a foothold of the game and start to make it string a few passes together. But no, we continued to play in the same manner. We looked like every single player looked like they were on roller skates going forward today, in that first half at least. The midfield was non-existent. We had a defensive line and we had a attacking line. Literally, City, there was the amount of times I saw Foden, the amount of times I saw KDB picking up the ball and literally just running at the back line, seemingly picking it up from the halfway line, running at the back line, and there's literally nobody, no midfielder there, just anywhere close to him. In that first half was ridiculous. We weren't compact enough. The back line in the forward line need to be much closer together, make it compact, make it difficult for us to break down. And yeah, it was terrible in that first half. Of course, I mean 4 goals to 0. I thought we could. I thought it was probably going to be 6-0. So I mean, I guess it does show good character to come back into the game, but like I say, I don't know. I think City just took the foot off the gas and that allowed us to come back into it. I am going to do the player ratings as well, but yeah, it's not great. It's not looking good, bruv. 4 wins on the bounce coming into this game. Hopefully we can bounce back. We've got a Thursday. It's another Thursday Sunday. It's going to be against Ammonia. No idea about them, to be honest. I mean, they're going to be the whipping boys of the Europa League group, at least you would hope. Going to be a heavily rotated team. And then it's if we can bounce back against Everton, who got a good victory against West Ham, have started to gain some confidence. I presume that is at home. I think it is at home. So yeah, we've got to bounce back from this. God, it's a difficult one to take, conceding 6 goals. It does put us on -3 goal difference as well for the opening 7 games of the season. I think we do stay. We are in 6th position, so we're not far off the top 4 at all. Brighton are currently in the top 4 after 7 games, which is mental. Yeah, we're 2 points off the top 4, so I mean we're still in the hunt, but it is very disappointing. go through some of the stats. I mean, this is just shows how dominant that first half performance was from City. 62% possession to our 38. 15 goal attempts for City to our 3. And to be honest, our 3 were barely chances. 7 shots on target to our 2. Dangerous attacks, 27 for them to our 15. And yeah, the second half, much better. We actually had more possession than City. 9 goal attempts to their 7. We had 6 shots on target to their 3. So it was a much better performance from United in the second half. But we were just destroyed. We won the second half, if that matters. I mean, we won it 3 goals to 2. We were still shaky defensively. But yeah, I'm going to go through the player ratings. Not many people going to get high scores, even though we scored 3 goals. But yeah, let's get into the player ratings. De Gea, I think none of the goals you can really blame De Gea. I don't think De Gea could have done better on any of them. Could have saved any of them. There were very clear-cut chances, opportunities that De Gea could do nothing about. So he's conceded 6. I can't give him a high score, but I'm not going to give him a really low score either, because again, I don't think he could have done a lot about most of them, if not all of them. So I'm just going to give him a 4 out of 10. Left back, Malacia, terrible. Honestly, worst game I've seen him in a United shirt. Luke Shaw came on, looked a lot better. But yeah, Phil Foden was absolutely rinsing Malacia. I think he got 2 goals in the second half, didn't he? In the first half. But yeah, it rightly subbed. Was it straight on the stroke of half time? Was Malacia subbed off? 46 minutes, yeah. And rightly so, because he was, I mean, in a performance where everyone was shocking in that first half, he could possibly have been the worst. So I'm going to give him a 1 or 2 out of 10. Probably going to get a 1. Probably a 1 out of 10. Martinez, because Malacia wasn't even there for the improvement in the second half, so I can only go off his terrible performance in the first. Martinez, again, we conceded 6 goals. He can't get a high score. There were so many times, just talking in general about the defence, there were so many times where a ball was put into the box and there would be like only 2 players in the box, and we would have our entire defensive line there and maybe a couple of midfielders as well, and still we're still somehow 3 yards, 4 yards standing off, say Haaland, say Foden, whoever's in the box. Like, we're still nowhere near them, and it was mental to me. So I mean, Martinez can't get a good score. I'm going to give him a 3 out of 10. Oh, that's Malacia. Yeah, I'm going to give him a 3 out of 10. Varane. I mean, Varane is equal to Malacia, to be honest. I'm going to give him a 1 out of 10. Just because, I mean, he got injured, so we only saw his first half performance, but he was terrible in that first half. That I'm trying to think, there was 2 goals that he was at fault at, the first and the third, I believe. The first goal, I'm trying to remember the first goal, but I know he was at fault. I can't even remember it, mate. There was that many goals, it was mad. But yeah, at fault for 2 of the goals. The third one, he was kind of injured. So where that ball was played in at the back post to Foden, who taps it in. Was it for Foden? No, it's to Haaland, who taps it in. He was kind of injured, and you could see he went off straight after that. So how much you can blame him for that one, I'm not sure. But there was a goal that he was at fault for. Yeah, I think, the first one was the ball was pulled across and Foden puts it in the top bins. I mean, Varane was absolutely nowhere near Foden. And the only thing he did was unsight De Gea, so De Gea just couldn't move towards the ball because he couldn't see the shot coming in from Foden. So yeah, terrible performance from Varane. He gets a 1 out of 10. And Lowe, really good on the international break. Really good for United in the 4 games preceding that. And yeah, wasn't great today at all. Again, I'm going to give him. I can't give him as low as what Malacia or Varane got, but I'm going to give him a pretty low score. I'm going to give him a 3 out of 10. Onto the midfield. Well, if you can call them a midfield in that first half, non-existent. It literally. It was as if there was nobody there. The amount of times, like I've already mentioned, where they just picked up the ball and just ran through at the back line. So I don't even know I can give them a score because they weren't there. Christian Eriksen, I'll go with first rating. Probably the worst. I mean, no, that Brentford game was the Brentford game was probably the worst I've seen him in a Man United shirt. This was a very, 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 very close second. Terrible, gifting away the ball as well. Like trying silly. He must have been taking some lessons off Bruno because he was trying some Hollywood balls, switching the play that were just going straight to the City. Straight to the City players and just breaking up our possession. And he was quite a big reason of why we had such poor possession in that first half. Because I mean, we just kept giving away the ball. We couldn't string passes together. We didn't try and string a few passes together. We were just playing Hollywood balls all the time. Even Christian Eriksen, a player that you expect to just get a foothold of the game, try and be composed, make the right passes, make the right decisions. Even he didn't. I'm going to give him a... Was he as bad as Malacia and Varane? Yeah, I think he was. McTominay as well. He was terrible. We didn't see that. We didn't see what we've seen in the last 4 games with McTominay. How he uses his strength, uses his power as a physical presence in midfield. We didn't see that. We didn't see him. He was invisible. So, does he get as low as Christian Eriksen, Malacia, and Varane? Yeah, I'd give him that. I think that midfield 2 of McTominay and Eriksen were non-existent. They didn't City just ran through at the back line. So I've got to give them both ones for that reason, and especially McTominay because he's the person that should be breaking down those attacks, those counters. He wasn't there. Bruno didn't do anything again. He's going to get a higher score than a 1 just because, his job isn't really to contribute that much defensively. But yeah, very ineffective. I don't think he did anything. Did he have a key pass today? That's why Bruno's in the team to make those key passes. I don't think he did. Don't even know what he did, to be honest. What did he have a shot on target? Did he make a key pass? I don't know. Let's have a look. See who got the assists. Eriksen got the assist for Anthony for the first one. But he just passed it to Anthony and Anthony banged it from far out. Obviously, Fred got that should be a Fred assist because he forced a save from Ederson, and then it was a penalty. So yeah, he didn't do anything. Bruno, I'm going to give Bruno a 2. Left wing, Sancho. Sancho got probably the most of the ball out of any United attacker in that first half. But still didn't do a lot with it. We just looked like everyone looked like Bambi and Ice in that first half going forward. We were terrible all over the pitch, including an attack. When did he get subbed off, Sancho? He got subbed off for Fred, didn't he? Frege. When did he get subbed off? 70 minutes. Didn't do anything until the 70th minute mark. I'm going to give him a 2 or 3. 2 or 3. 2 or 3. 2. Got to give him the same as Bruno. Anthony, non-existent in the first half. Really good in the second half. Obviously, regardless of that banger that he scored, even disregarding that, he looked good. Apart from that, he looked like he was more creative. He looked better on the ball, actually was making the right decisions as well. So regardless of the banger that he scored, and then you add in that banger, and then his score goes up. But he did have a horrific first half, so he can't get any, like, probably a 1 in the first half and probably an 8 in the second half, 8 or a 9 in the second half. So therefore, he gets around a 6. Marcus Rashford, I mean, non-existent. Difficult for him, to be fair, because the balls over the top towards him weren't getting anywhere near him. So very difficult for Marcus Rashford. But yeah, I'll give him a 2. Right, that means on to the subs. Now, subs are actually going to get better scores than what the first team got, because a lot of these came on in the second half when we actually played better. So starting off first with, Martial, he gets the highest score out of anybody. Came on, scored 2 goals, penalty, won the penalty, made that all himself. It was quite a soft penalty, but he still made it. Put it top bins. I'm glad that he's fit again. I think he can. He's probably only going to be fit. He's probably going to get injured in training. He won't be available for Thursday. He'll probably get injured in training. He's made of glass. You can't rely on Martial to stay fit, but when he is fit, I think we need to utilise him. I'd love to see him start in the next important game against Everton if he stays fit until then. So yeah, Martial looked good when he came on. Martial's going to get an 8. A bit of a stretch to give him a 9. I think. You know what? For the time he had on the pitch, I will give him a 9, because he couldn't have done much more, could he? Scored 2 goals. Poacher, the first one. Fred was good for the first one, but Poacher got in front of I think Cancelo, or it might have been Ake. I don't know. And then penalty was made himself, and he put it top bins. Victor Lindelof was okay, actually. He was much better than Varane when he came on. Obviously, hasn't had much game time at all recently, but Victor Lindelof, I thought was fairly decent. Obviously, we only conceded 2 in that second half, whereas Varane was shocking and at fault for at least a couple of the goals. So I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. Still conceded 2, but much better than Varane. Luke Shaw, I think, again, was a lot better than Malacia. 100%. It was a lot better than Malacia. Malacia had a terrible game. The bar is very low. Luke Shaw was good. I think for one of the goals. Which goal was it? Was it the second goal there where Luke Shaw had quite a bit of involvement on that left hand side? But yeah, I thought he was good. He was better than Malacia going forward, and he was also better defensively as well. Foden looked a lot more quiet when Luke Shaw came on. So I'm going to give Luke Shaw a 6 or a 7. I'm going to give Luke Shaw a 7, actually. Casemiro, he had that one shot from distance, a few loose passes. Like, we haven't seen Casemiro that we know. We haven't seen the Casemiro that we saw playing for Real Madrid yet. I mean, he wasn't good against Real Sociedad when he started that game. He hasn't looked great when he's come on for United. He wasn't horrific today, but he didn't stand out when he came on for United today. I don't know whether it's a game of 5 or a 6, to be honest. I give him a 5. He did, just because he misplaced quite a few passes. Frege was good when he came on. He obviously was heavily involved. Should have got an assist. I don't know why it hasn't registered as an assist. I mean, he took the ball. That was it. It was a second goal where Luke Shaw passed to Fred. Frege, he takes on Ake, I think, has a shot. It's a good save from Ederson, and then Martial with the header. So yeah, Frege, massive contribution for a goal. made the impact off the bench that Ten Hag would have wanted. So Frege, I think, gets a 7 as well. So that is it for the player ratings. Obviously 6. Oh no, I mean there's only one more rating. That's Erik Ten Hag. Martial gets the man of the match according to the ratings, even though 2 goals coming off the bench, I think in the 70th minute as well. No, 59th minute. But that's enough to get him man of the match. 2 goals, quite clear. Anthony, based on his second half performance, was probably one of the best players, him or Martial. But based on the first half where he was non-existent, I can only give him a 6. Erik Ten Hag, it's difficult because I would have gone with that lineup as well, because we've got 4 wins on the bounce. I wouldn't have put Casemiro in. Casemiro didn't look great when he came on. He didn't look great against Real Sociedad. So I would have started with this team, so can't fault him there really. I can fault him on continuing to play counter-attacking football. I know we got the result against Liverpool. I know we got a result against Arsenal, but it clearly wasn't working after the 10 minutes, 15 minutes in. At 2-0 down, I think us continue. Why did we wait until half-time to start changing how we were playing? It didn't make sense to me. And then by that time, the game's gone. It's 4-0. We've got no chance of getting back into the game. In the way we played in the second half, actually getting a foothold in the game, actually making passes, not playing counter-attacking football. We had 56% ball possession in the second half, as opposed to having 38% in the first. We played a lot better. Why we didn't recognise that earlier, I don't know. So the score has to be impacted by that. I'm probably going to give him a 3 out of 10, Eric, today. But that is it for the video. This is a new channel, so please, if you are watching, do give me a subscribe and like the video as well. Again, I'm still scoring just over 1,000 subscribers, so I do appreciate you. I am going to be back doing another match review, maybe a preview for the Ammonia game, because I need to find out who this opposition is. Who is this elusive Ammonia on Thursday? Because I've got no idea. In Europe's elite competition, the Europa League, not this false Champions League that everyone talks about. But yeah, not a great day for United. Conceding 6 to your City rivals. 2 hat-tricks as well by the opposition players. Not great at all. One positive is that we showed some character in the second half, I guess. But how much of that is City taking the foot off the gas? Or United just playing better? I don't know. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you. Please like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time. Ciao, ciao.